Hey, I'm Grant. Welcome to Digression Bar 28. I'm joined by...
Andrew, it's been a while.
Andrew, what do you think of the new setup?
I think I like it.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely, once you sit down, it's like way more comfortable.
Yeah.
I still need to like finalize it. Like, these are the chairs I use out on my like balcony patio thing.
Yeah, it's kind of bare out there now.
Yeah, so I want to maybe get something better. Like, I have this old couch. You know, like, I don't know if you remember that brown couch I had when I was at my old apartment. It's the one over there in my bedroom.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I want to ditch that, move the small segment out, and then get some actual like good chairs. Because even though like this doesn't look as good as like the big couch, I know there's sometimes like when like Jamie comes over to like watch a movie, it's so much more convenient to have a chair like this that's like actually has good support and you can like easily get up. Like that sounds like a fat person thing to say, but like it kind of sucks with like that couch where you're like you have to kind of like sit like this, which is comfy, but then it's like ugh. Same with the podcast. Like people just like slowly descend over the course of the podcast like this.
Yeah.
You can watch it in like a time lapse. So I don't know. There's definitely things I want to change. And I don't like how much setup this takes compared to just being the couch that's there anyway.
Yeah.
But it's definitely way more convenient. And we were talking before, like it makes you want to sit like very proper, like talk showish. So
like that.
Yeah. Also, I don't know what this setup's like called. I know like there's a lot of talk shows that use it. The only thing I can think of when I think of the setup is it's the two ferns setup, even though it's the most generic
between
setup.
two ferns.
Yeah.
I knew as soon as you were gonna say like I only thing I think I'm like he's gonna say between two ferns.
Yeah, it's like there's so many shows that use this little setup like this, but for some reason that's the one I go to. I've only ever seen like one episode of that even. It's like
I don't know if I've seen a whole episode of Between Two Ferns.
It's good. It's just it's one of those things I just never got around to watching. So, but that's the only thing that comes to mind.
Does he still do it?
I don't know. It seems like the kind of thing you just make it when you have time.
Yeah.
Or like, is it produced by someone or is it just something he does? Zach Galifianakis, right?
I thought it was just him, but I don't know.
I don't know either.
Like, I think he got Obama to come on at once, so I would feel like if it was just him, maybe it's a little bit harder thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure someone else produces it, I guess. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he doesn't actually have the expertise, the technical expertise for everything.
True. You could like rent time in
Yeah.
like studio. Like that's one thing I've been like trying to work out is I've been going down to like the community television studio and stuff and seeing how like that works out. And basically you can just do that where you're like, okay, I want to rent an hour. I want to make this. I will pay you or bring in my own crew of people to run the equipment. And that's just like something you can do.
Your own crew.
Well, no, that's the thing. Like, and I'm not saying like they show up with a bunch of random people. They have people like an actual like technical director they have.
No, I know them. I'm just thinking about you. Your own crew specifically.
Yeah. Well, I would just bring other people in or just like whoever would like want to volunteer. Because I think they have like a couple of people who are just like in college. Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh, they'll work for free, but then also they're learning. Yeah. So it's kind of a trade-off kind of thing.
It's like old internship.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So anyway, new setup. Hopefully, this is going to be the one that I can do all in one sitting. Hopefully. I tried
to jinx it. Don't jinx it.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to work because I have my two side cameras set. I've talked about this to you at 30 FPS, but the main camera is 29.97. So I just know the longer I go, the more drift's going to happen. But you never know because I don't know if it's true 30 FPS because like some things will do true 30 FPS, but some will say 30, but they mean 29.97. Just no one wants to say 29.97 every single time.
And not to mention it's only 0.03 off from 30.
Yeah, per second though.
Per second, yeah.
Per second. So it drifts. And that's the thing is like there's no single point where it's like, oh, it's ruined. Like the sync is off. It's always there and just it's gradually getting more and more. At what point do you notice it? And at what point is someone who watches it for the first time going to notice it?
I don't know.
So and it's just like this balancing act of like, do I just resync it? That's kind of a pain.
Speaking of how long does it take for someone to notice? I was watching something about like earlier today about like some of the weird things, people like visual things in Halo. Mm-hmm. And one of them was one of the maps in Halo 3, one of the DLC maps, the one where it's like the harbor and there's like the shipping thing and the whale image, like the little like mascot thing, its eyes open throughout the time of the match. So they start closed and they slowly open.
Why? Wow.
I don't know. It's something they never explained.
I wonder if they just because they had a mechanic. Like I know they had that on Isolation. It was like a free for all like flood theme map where it would gradually decay over the course of the game.
What?
it would gradually become more flooded. Not flood like water, but more
With flood.
infected.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the thing. So maybe they had like the mechanic to have it change, and they're like, we should use it. And they're just like, let the whale open its eyes.
What do you mean it would become more
The
infected?
grass would become like the flood flesh thing.
Okay, so it like slowly
Change.
protrude.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't really affect any like the hitboxes. It was just like a visual thing. I'm sure there's other ones that are like that, but that's the one that comes to mind.
Okay.
Throwback to Halo 3 already.
Yeah.
We should get it started. So I have a gift for you, and surprisingly, you're like, I have a gift.
Well, your
have a gift
birthday
for me.
is like in 2 weeks. Mine is like a month and
yeah,
2 weeks.
but I didn't want to wait. So who should we go first? Want me to go first since mine's sooner?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. You opted for the newspaper. I opted for like the gift wrap bag that someone gave to me like 3 years ago, and I've just been reusing. Because usually it's just like for Jamie, it's like, well, I'll just keep it.
Happy birthday.
Oh. So Bayonetta 2.
Yeah.
I love Bayonetta. But as soon as I saw it, that's like, well, that's an odd thing to get. And a Nintendo Switch. Jeez, is this the? Wow. I don't know what to say. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Cancel podcast. Let's go play. Please tell me you can lend me like Breath of the Wild and stuff too.
I brought that.
Okay.
I didn't bring over Xenoblade Chronicles because I still haven't been that.
My backlog just got so full right now.
Yes, it did.
I have some PTO to burn. So I'm excited now because it was something I've been was thinking about getting a Switch.
Yeah.
But I could never justify because all this stuff. It's like there's a lot of stuff I want to play because I've never actually had like a Nintendo console.
Until like this Wii that you got that was like used.
I've never owned a Nintendo console, but people keep leaving their Wiis with me.
Well,
I had your Wii for like 4 years and
That's
take
true.
it, and now Jamie's like, I don't want my Wii either. Can you just take it? I'm like, fine.
What happened to my Wii? Did I get that? Did I ever
You
get
still
that
have
back?
it. It's
Okay.
somewhere, right? I assume.
I think I have it back.
Pretty sure I gave it back to you.
I haven't done anything for years.
Well, I mean, it's like, why would you bust out a Wii? Like,
Yeah.
I did it to play Dead Rising, and like, I played something else really weird on it. I don't remember what.
I can't, or I'm not going to deny part of the reason why my incentive to give you that was because I know Smash is coming out in December,
I'm so
and
excited.
I knew we would be able to play it if you had a.
It's okay.
Switch
You
of
can
your
say,
own.
Bayonetta 3 is coming out, so you're gonna.
Well,
you want to get
okay.
ready for that.
Well, also,
Well,
I don't know if you noticed, it comes with a download for Bayonetta 1. Well, you own that already
It's true.
on 360?
It's a 360 only one, but you can
Play
backwards
on the
compatible.
Xbox One,
So, yeah.
right. So, like, I was going to say, maybe I could borrow that one.
It's true. I hear it's a fairly decent port because of how it is. Oh, I'm so excited. But here, now I feel way better about my gift.
Okay.
Well, because I was afraid you're going to show off me like, here's a $5 gift card.
And
Oh, yeah. Go.
also, when you mentioned that, you're like, you're going to have enough controllers for that? And like, I was going to say, yeah, I don't know if I'll show like these, they slide off and then there's a little black thing on and it could be its own controller.
Yeah.
So I had two, but when I was buying, I'm like, when I have enough today.
I'm like pumped because I'll play like 2 games at once. Like when I'm playing like Destiny, I'll go over and I'll play something on my PC. Now it's gonna be way worse. Where it's gonna be like I'm gonna be waiting for a Destiny match to load, and then I'll be doing something on OSRS on my PC, and then I got my Switch. It's like
Yeah.
all the time now.
That's great. Okay, what do we got here? That's a 2 terabyte.
It's an
Is that a
external hard drive.
nice?
So that works with Xbox One. That's the main focus. The reason it's
Cool.
open is because I wanted to make sure it worked before I just gave you a hard drive.
Oh,
Because I
I
don't
mean,
think you would
that's fair.
use it for like your PC as much.
Probably not. No.
So, and there's more stuff in there too.
And
There's stuff more specific. This is the main reason I want to do it on the podcast.
I got the bunch of King Beans and Fun Dip.
So the Fun Dip was surprisingly hard to find. I went to like the Omaha subreddit, like, has anyone seen this? And first they're like, well, they probably don't sell it as much, but maybe because Halloween's coming up, you can find it in stores. Didn't. And then someone commented, there's apparently like a big candy store downtown on like 13th and J called Hollywood Candy. They had it in like one little thing, and I bought like all of them.
Nice.
So it's like strawberry and blueberry or
So
something.
there's cherry. There's Raz Apple Magic Dip.
See, I'm so glad I got the hard drive now, because if you got me like a Switch, and then I'm like, here's some 99-cent candy, I would have felt pretty bad.
Well, I mean, again, we didn't communicate that we were doing this.
Yes.
It was just completely by happenstance.
But no, I was looking at getting this, and I was like, oh, well, that would be a good idea to get for you, because you kept like asking about like, how you looking at that hard drive, Grant? Because Destiny times they take so long to load. There's a thing about one of the reasons it's like big is some companies, like this is a big thing if you get like SD cards, which are solid state, is sometimes you'll have like, they'll make a 1 gigabyte SD card.
Yes.
And sometimes part of it just won't work, like the memory's bad.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say we made 1 gigabyte, 25% of it is just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So they'll just like rewrite the firmware on it and sell it as a 512 megabyte card.
Huh.
And it just like, it works. Like you as a user don't have any, like, you don't know that it's technically a bad card. It still works.
Right.
But that's, I think, one reason why they can be bigger is like, also they have to be like uniform sizes. But yeah, this was like surprisingly like good. It was something someone recommended on Reddit and looked at. And I figured worst case scenario, it was like, if this doesn't work for an Xbox, worst case scenario, I could use it on mine. Then I would go out and get another one that does work.
Yeah.
So that's why I was saying it was like, oh, it's like, I didn't want to give you a hard drive. I was just like, here's a 2 terabyte flash drive for your PC. That's not as good.
No.
But yeah, hopefully that helps you with your load times
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So while I play Bayonetta, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I want to go back and play. I really want to do like a Let's Play Bayonetta 1 just because like I don't have anything on my channel. And that game is so much fun to just like sit down and like play.
I know you really want to play Bayonetta too, because I got it for you, but I also think Breath of the Wild is...
I've heard good things about Breath of the Wild.
I like Breath of the Wild.
Well, it's like I've also never played a Zelda game when it's relevant. It's like I played Ocarina of Time like 10 years after it came out. I played like Phantom Hourglass.
You know, I played
Majora's
Ocarina of
Mask.
Time for the first time on my 3DS because...
Yeah. I think that's fine though.
Yeah.
But like, and fine, because again, it's like I like a lot of Nintendo games. Like obviously, I like Bayonetta 2. I like Zelda, but it's hard to justify it being like my main console. And if I was gonna buy a second one, honestly, I'd probably buy like a PlayStation. More like soon. It's something it's weird where it's like I have literally zero complaints. It's just doesn't make the cut.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of games like that too, where it's like I'd really like to play this one day, but there's always just gonna be something higher up.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like just thinking about this. I can't wait to play. I have to see if I'm pretty sure I can get it to work with my Elgato.
I don't know why I want it. I'm sure it has...
It's just HDMI?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can do that. Stream some Bayonetta. Although, the thing is, like, I really like that game, but I'm like, I am hesitant to stream it because, like, every time someone sees it for the first time, it definitely looks like a very specific kind of game. And I'm like, it's not that. It's not that. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm excited for you to play it, though, because it's short, it's quick, it's fun.
Yeah.
And there's definitely, like, I don't know if you've ever gotten to, like, fighting games, but there's definitely, or even, like, Brawl. Like, there's definitely, like, a point where you're like, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not necessarily good, but also, like, I get how this works, and it's no longer you playing it for the story. It's like, okay, now I understand everything that's on my palette.
Yes.
I can use these things to solve the puzzle of the game. And it's like,
Did you ever fully understand everything that was on your palette though? Because in Bayonetta, because like you were still saying like I'm figuring out things like all the time.
I don't even have all the weapons in that game yet. Like I was playing it when Ellie was over because we were like she got like 80% of the way through. And then she had to go back. So like, just come over. We'll like get all the way through. And I was telling her after I was just playing like on my account, like, yeah, there's this one weapon you get for playing like 100 chapters. And I got it like right then and there. I'm like, oh my God, it was destined. And I haven't used it yet. It's a gun nunchucks. But they're
Gunchucks.
Yeah, gunchucks. Style after like Bruce Lee. And they have all these like crazily different moves. And yeah, it's this whole thing. And like, that's why I was annoyed in like, in Nier Automata, that the weapons weren't a bigger deal. Because all the ones in Bayonetta are like drastically different and are all crazily different purposes. Mm-hmm. So no. Also, I don't even have all the characters unlocked in that game.
How many characters are there?
3. They're mostly the same. Mostly the same, but there's subtle differences.
So the only one you don't have is the one hit guy, the guy, the ghost phantom thing.
Yeah, but I also haven't played as a second character either.
Oh,
because you can like play the story as her, and she has her own versions of the weapons that have their own like slight differences, but are basically the same.
So Bayonetta is the hair guns. Hair and guns.
Yes.
What is Jean's?
Yeah, same thing. But she, because she's also like a witch, but she does like other things. This is gonna be really specific. I don't know if you know much about Bayonetta from like Smash or anything. But like for example,
I haven't played her in any Smash yet.
Okay. One of the examples is when in Bayonetta, when you dodge, you get witch time. Stuff slows down. Do you know that? It's a big mechanic of the game.
I didn't know that specifically, but I know it's kind of... It's a thing I've seen in games.
Right. So the difference is if you play Jean, that will only activate if the attack would have actually hit you. So you have to like have it hit during your iframes. So it's much stronger. But if it does activate, which is much harder to, then it lasts way longer and you get way more points for it. And there's like a couple other subtle differences that are hard to explain if you don't know the game. But it's like basically kind of like a pseudo little hard mode, or like if you're going for like really high scores, stuff like that. So I haven't even, there's like 2 bosses I haven't even got to. There's one I just haven't even attempted because I know he's going to destroy me. And the other one, it's like I'm not good enough to get to the boss, much less defeat it.
Oh.
And then I watched someone do a stream where they beat it with like every single possible handicap in the game, and it's like a 2-hour fight. Like, I am not even close to some people at that game.
Okay, you say it's a 2-hour fight, and they had every handicap on in the game. My question is, how many attempts did that take?
They did it just in one. Because like that was their thing.
I meant, like, how many times did they fail?
None on that stream.
Oh, I know that, but I'm like, how many times did they have to play through that with all the handicaps on before they're like, nailed it?
Well, let me set this perspective. So it's basically like, imagine if there was a boss in Gears of War, but you had to beat Horde mode before you could attempt 1 kill on the boss. That's basically what the equivalent is. You have to beat 50 rounds of enemies coming at you, and then you get to attempt this boss. No healing. So, or you can't, there's no healing between rounds. You can occasionally pick up an item.
Okay.
Or you can cheese it. There's a slight heal mechanic, but that's dangerous, and that's why I can't beat it.
Why is it dangerous?
Because you can taunt like you can in Nier, except it does a couple things. Like, one, obviously, they deal more damage to you. They do double damage, I want to say, or triple damage.
Okay.
They take less damage when you taunt, but when they're taunted, they're enraged. That means they attack faster, but when you attack them, you get more points and you get more magic energy. So it's like a trade-off.
So, but you're doing less damage.
Yes.
Okay.
Unless you can make up for it with like the magic damage. And there's an accessory you can equip where when you taunt, you heal. So then you like, I'll go this thing where it's like, I'll slowly heal over like 5 minutes of taunting. Then you hit once and it's like down to 1 HP. It's just like, God damn it. Especially because like as you get further and further, they start layering on even more handicaps and stuff. It's a whole thing. And just, I think you'd like, it's just like when you sit down, there's a lot to learn. Yeah. And it's why it's so much fun. It's a game that keeps on giving. So Nier's kind of like that too, where it's just like, you kind of keep playing it and it just kind of keeps unraveling long past the point you thought it was done. Yeah, I know. And it's just like, and another thing and another thing. It's like, this game, like, does this game have an end?
I think I figured out last night by fluke that there was a secret boss I didn't know about in it. I think it's like the president of the company that created it.
I think I know who you're talking about.
And I'm like, interesting.
Yes. So I don't want to talk too much about that because, like, obviously, I'm sure I'll have plenty to say when I play stuff. But yeah, awesome. We're playing Mario Party later. Mario Party. I'm excited. I haven't played Mario Party since like college, and I was never good at Mario Party, but I played a couple times. It's a lot of fun.
The last time I played it was on the N64.
Nice. I played Mario Party 8, I think, on the Wii. Someone had it in my dorm.
I actually don't even know what installment of Mario Party I bought.
Does it matter though? It's not like
no. I mean, I don't think it matters. I just honestly don't know how many there've been.
I wonder, is there like, can I get a ranking of all the Mario parties that are like from complete bullshit to like only kind of bullshit? Because there's got to be some that are just like, screw you. Like the one I always hear was the Nintendo 64 one, where they'd have a lot of games where you just like rotate that middle stick.
Yeah,
and it's just like, it's like just destroy your controller. Same with like Mortal Kombat. Like Mortal Kombat basically ruined 2 of my controllers just because of like how much stress you have to put on that. Bayonetta as well. Bayonetta, I will tell you, there's a point in Bayonetta where if you want to go for like perfect, like a rating on a mission, it's basically, can you mash a button for 20 minutes as fast as you possibly can?
So were you doing that on your Elite or on a different controller?
On my Elite.
Ooh.
I think it's fine. I'm actually with that. I was less worried about like my controller and more worried about like, I'm going to get like arthritis. Because there's definitely times where it's like, oh, cutscene, finally. You know, just... It's a thing. So, but I'm excited. Yeah, especially because like you had asked like what would be better, Mario Party or Mario Kart. Yes. I suck at racing games, And I always was
I
annoyed
do
because
too.
we also, the dude who had Mario Party in my dorm also had Mario Kart, but it was clear he was like, you always had this situation with like party games, like whoever owns it is always like a huge league above everyone else.
Yeah.
And it was totally that where he would like show up, like be half asleep, and he's just like flooring everyone in Mario Kart. I'm like, I'm like 8th place. I don't understand what's going on. I'm really trying.
I heard that there's a new item that they're putting in one of the Mario Karts, or the most recent. I don't know if it's going to be in a new Mario Kart or the most recent Mario Kart is getting an update with this item. Instead of like, you know what the blue shell does, right?
Yes.
It goes and fucks first place, right? Mm-hmm. They're including something now called the white shell. You know what it does?
Last place, I guess?
Yes. It fucks last place. Like, why? Like, shut the fuck off. Oh, fuck you. It's like you're already doing bad. And
well, think of it this way. When do they give it out? Because that's a big thing, is like what items you get is based off your place. What if the only way to get a white shell is to be like 7th or 8th place?
So
to use it, you have to get like back up front. Like that's a big thing people will do, for example, is they'll stay in back, get like a power star, then take front so they can use it. Because if you're just in first place, you get like a banana.
Yeah.
So it's like a whole thing to like manage that. And you don't want to be the person in front the entire race. I know that.
My question is in the mechanics that you don't know, and I don't know. So I just asked him this question. I asked my brother, and he didn't know. If you have the white shell and you are in last place, when you use it, does it fuck you?
Definitely. Blue shell does that.
If you're in first place and you have the blue shell
and you fire it, it will hit you. Okay. And it updates like mid-flight. That's the other thing. So if you fire it, take them, then it will switch targets and hit you.
So if you're really near, like you're in first place, and the guy's in second place is like right behind you, you slam on the brakes, hit him, and then just continue. Mm-hmm.
And that's why you get bananas in first place, is not to like hurt the people behind you, but you can use the banana to block the shell. It's hard though, so ideally you want to have
wait, blue shell?
Yeah.
How?
It can hit the banana. Like you need to like look behind you and drop it at the right second.
Well, but I thought the blue shell goes up in front of you and then detonates. It flies.
It might in the new ones. I knew it was a thing in like the 60s.
Like maybe the red shell, because that one skids on the ground. That makes sense. But the blue shell like goes up and it's like a missile.
I think that's just in the new one then. Because it was a thing though. Like it wasn't a guarantee. Because like sometimes it just comes out at an angle, and you're like your banana's not going to do anything if it's at an angle. But it was just like, here's your small chance, you know. But yeah, I could see it, because I think I've seen gifs like that where like that comes in and just explodes.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that gif where it's like it's like just something simple like Daisy's in like first place and she gets like blue shell, red shell, green shell, hit into a banana, power star, and like within the last 20 seconds the race goes from 1st to 12th.
No.
God. There's a lot of good gifts like that of just like Mario games. Like I sent you the one of Luigi on like the ice mountain, and he's like the only one that doesn't move, and everyone else falls off. There's
I know the two people on the right that like just turn off, like they thought they were the other people, and like they start going like, oh shit, wrong way.
There's like a whole YouTube channel, I want to say it was, that was dedicated to Luigi winning at Smash Brothers without doing anything. And they would just like run the game over and over until like the PCs accidentally killed himself. And then they would just post those clips. So it's just like Luigi just like doing his little plank taunt. And then it'll be like Bowser trying to do his like smash. And he like jumps and smashes off the ground, off the cliff. And like, Luigi wins. And Luigi's like, hey. And it was just full of stuff like that Mario Party one. But it was like really funny. Because like when you see them all act together, it just looks like the AI struggling so hard. So, Andrew, how was your field trip today?
So instead of lab today for my environmental engineering class, my teacher decided we were going to do a field trip, and we knew this from like day one of the lab. Mm-hmm. Like they announced it was going to be on this day, and it was supposed to be at the water treatment plant over in Douglas County. And it was like fine. We were supposed to be there at 8:50 today for the start at 9. The facility isn't actually that large unless you go around and walk outside. But the guys didn't want to go around and walk outside this morning. Also, we weren't supplied transportation. So we had to drive ourselves to the lab, and the parking lot was full because of us.
Yeah.
And it started at 8:50. Like, the guy started at 8:55. Do you know what time we got over?
4.
9:07.
And like in the morning?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It was less than 20 minutes for like a half an hour drive, no transportation.
That kind of sucks.
I was livid.
Ouch.
And it was really funny because one of the people in my lab group, I mean, it was like everyone in the lab, but like my team thing. He was late. He showed up like 30 seconds. Like, he got in the building. I saw him trying to run like through them. Like, he's gonna get in here. He's gonna be really pissed because he got in there and was like, any questions? No. Okay, then that concludes the tour. And he's like, what?
God damn. So what was the tour about?
Water treatment facility.
Because like I picture it like I picture it like they gave you like the kids tour even. That was like, okay, who can tell me the water cycle?
No.
Like, super cheesy.
Not about that. He talked about like, oh yeah, this is like the room for like the long filtration. Like, we got a bunch of like carbon activated layering in here. It's not membrane. That's our other facility miles away. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't even hear him for a lot of like part of it. Like, he was showing us like a map of the facility, and we have like, there's a very vast range of heights of people in like, and there's like 50 people. Mm-hmm. Because it was like, and it's just like, couldn't see the fucking map because there were too many people in the fucking way. It was like a small-ish room, and it's like, I was mad about the experience. Like, it was funny, like complaining with each other about like, what the fuck? Like, if this is like, so we had to write a 1-page essay about this. And if you didn't come, you're supposed to write a 3-page essay about some other treatment plant. Like, so this is a required assignment, essentially, that we weren't given transportation to. That was less than 15. It was like 15. It wasn't even 15 minutes. It was like 12 minutes. It was dumb.
That sounds a little dumb.
It was really dumb. The teacher wasn't there.
Oh, well, that explains it.
It was a TA who was okay. So we also had we had 2 TAs for our lab. One guy who really knows what's going on because he's done it for a while, and the other is a girl who's more new at it. So I mean, she knows more or less what's going on, but she's also kind of shy, I think. Mm-hmm. That guy got a new job like last week. So this new TA we haven't even had in lab yet.
Wow.
Also, so I got there early. Like, I got there like 8:25 because like, I don't know about traffic and whatever. There's like a little like drive-through, and there's like a booth with someone in there who like talked to my like, right. They said like fucking customers or something like that. I'm like, well, I'm here for a tour. I guess I'm a customer. I go up and like, so I ask him like, so I'm here for the tour. And it's like, yeah, just go park in the like these parking spots like right in front of it. I'm like, okay. So I do that, and I take a little like 15-20 minute nap, and then I get out my car like 5 minutes before it's supposed to start. Well, before we're supposed to assemble. And the TA comes out like, yeah, they said not to park there. You have to go park over like outside the fence. And I'm like, motherfucker, I asked the booth, and they said I could park here. So I get back in my car and drive, and it was just, I was mad.
You should have rolled into a tour with like a cup of water and be like, can you treat this? And just see if they would take it.
Well, we went into a room where we just saw like a bunch of things of water that had to be treated. Like, I could theoretically just gone like.
That's what I pictured you like, yes. If you, bold move. If you saw him peeing it before, like straight in the tank, would you then drink it on the other side?
Well, we didn't.
If you knew it was the same water. I assume you didn't watch the whole process. I assume that takes longer than 12 minutes.
We didn't even see the entire facility. We only saw there's like one guy there. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like someone phoned this in.
Does he like really like Waterboy as a movie? He's like the one dude that has to be at the water plant and like wants to talk about it.
I don't know.
You think they just have that movie? Like if you have one movie at the water treatment plant, it would have to be Waterboy. It's not even that relevant. It just seems like, what else would you possibly pick?
I don't know.
Like a Noah's Ark movie or something?
Gatorade.
Gosh.
Okay, so I remember, full disclosure, I totally thought that like human sewage, like from the toilet, I totally thought till a couple years ago that was also what went into the filtration process. And or that we would like drink back into the drinking water. I'm like, so like when people, like I remember I was watching a documentary or something in a geology class a couple of years ago, and they're talking about like water, and like about just potential crises with water, and so like, oh, or like this is water that was like this is like sewage water that was like reused, and like trying to get people to drink it because it's actually pretty clean, but just like the stigma of it being like from the toilet originally, or some of it. I'm like, I just thought that's how all water was. Well, not all water, but I thought it was all in the same place. I'm like, oh, it's not. That's interesting. Okay.
It does. I feel like you'd have to do like that stigma a lot. Like for example, if you work at the MUD plant and if you do have like basically raw sewage that you go in and filter, would you bother having like a sewage system, or would you just have your own bathrooms go there? I'd say probably not, because the stigma. But realistically, assuming you probably still need some kind of actual like first pass filter kind of thing.
Yeah,
but in theory, you can, right?
Yeah.
It's like the same thing. Like in theory, he could pee in the reservoir and it would be filtered out, but you'd also be like, no, I'm not gonna.
Yeah. It's like, I don't want to go get fired or go to prison. Either of those are not preferable. So.
Yeah, I'd say so. So was that like for a certain class, or is that just?
This was for my environmental engineering class.
I see. You could have that job.
I could get that job.
You could get that tour down to like 11 minutes. Tell people where to park. You could like yell at him like, I am on a podcast. I deserve better than this. I'm going to rant about you to the internet. That's your bullshit parking scenarios and your 12-minute tours and the professor that doesn't even show up to his own tour.
Her own tour.
Her own tour, sorry.
No. No. I didn't.
So I guess other things that I've been up to, I've finally gotten back to doing more of that Ruby on Rails stuff. That's been fun, frustrating, but fun.
Which I always forget, which is the one that has like the really weird stories, like analogies in it.
The coding language?
Yes. Is that it? You said like oh, I'm gonna explain this.
Oh no, that was JavaScript.
JavaScript. Okay.
That was the JavaScript. Yeah. I guess throw back to that. It's like it's called like Eloquent JavaScript, I want to say was the name of this tutorial. It's like just free online book some guy put out. And it's a good tutorial, especially for being free. It's a good tutorial. But he would always just like relate it to these really weird stories. Like he had like this weird hobby as like a child, like children's writer. It's like he has a story about like, I think I told this before on the podcast, but imagine there's a dude and his thing is he's a were squirrel. But he doesn't know what causes his change, so he graphs like the things he eats and where he goes over the day and all this stuff. And like, let's process that data. No reason it needs to be a were squirrel, just it is. And then of course, after the chapter, we need a conclusion to the story. Because yes, you learn the material, but you didn't learn the conclusion to this story. So yeah, that was the thing.
What caused it? What was the cause?
I think based off of the correlation, it was like, I want to say it was something like really stupidly simple, like if he had something with nuts in it that day.
But you should also know that correlation doesn't mean causation.
Well, that's something they talk about in that. But like it went this whole thing about how like it's like wrecking his life and like it's dangerous because what if He doesn't want to like wake up like naked on the side of the road because he was a squirrel at night. It's this whole thing. It's like a whole story. And it's just like randomly in like one of the chapters. And not every chapter has this. It's just some of them have crazy things.
Is he a squirrel-sized squirrel or a human-sized squirrel?
He's a squirrel-sized squirrel.
Okay.
So, yeah. It even had like a picture. Like had like illustrated. It was like black and white sketch. It was a thing. And that's how I always knew that chapter. And I had someone else I worked with that had to go through that. I'm like, did you reach the squirrel chapter yet? Nah. It's like next week. Did you reach the squirrel chapter? Yeah, that was weird. But it's something that was like such a, like, I have no one to talk about this too. But it's like, I remember just reading it at work and it was like, what?
Is this serious? Is this a prank?
There was no, or the other thing he always had was he wanted to describe like variables. And I don't know if you know much about programming, but in some programming, you have what are called like pointers, where it's, you have the data saved somewhere in your memory, in your RAM. And then you have what's actually managed is a memory address to say, this is here. And you can like pass those around. So for example, instead of saying, I'm going to send this data to this other program, you just say, hey, the data's here, get it yourself. So I don't have to copy it. Stuff like that. That's one way to describe it. Another way would be, imagine you're an octopus and you have all these tentacles that reach out and grab your memories. And you can have two tentacles on one memory or one object. And that's kind of like having two pointers on an object. That's a thing. He had illustrations for that too. And it was like an octopus holding all these like scrolls and boxes.
Interesting.
It was definitely memorable. I remember it. And it was a good tutorial. I don't think it was a good tutorial necessarily because it had all these crazy stories, but I did remember them. So
what if maybe that's the point? Is like maybe he says, well, if I give a story, it's unique enough that it will stick with people and that will enhance them remembering what I was trying to teach them.
I think so. Or just like maybe propagate more. I think he just probably had fun writing it. He's like, hey, I know you're going to read. You're reading about learning code. I'm going to throw something fun in just to, keep your attention. Yeah. So, whereas the one I'm reading right now, it's Ruby on Rails tutorial by Michael Hartle. And he's got a good writing style. It's a lot of the stuff where it's like you can tell it's very heavily reviewed. Like came back and like updated it with like feedback and all that stuff. So it's like, I've been really liking that. And especially considering it's really good that he maintained it because obviously like the book just goes out of date after a while. And it's like, oh, well, like I looked, like he has a GitHub repository, or I think Bitbucket actually, of all like the finished code for the tutorial. And he updates that like every 3 weeks with like things since the book came out like 4 years ago. And like, oh, that's awesome. So when I encounter an issue, you can go there and be like, oh yeah, Ruby like version 5 broke this. Use this instead. And just like full of cool stuff like that. So it is frustrating though. Like I spent like 30 minutes on one page sometime because like Windows just decided it didn't like my Ruby server. And it's like, you can't drop that database. No, I'm not allowing you. It's like, here we go. Spent 30 minutes doing all that. It's like, finally, I'll allow you to delete your database. So, or it's like I could, but at any point I could go just like forcibly delete the file myself. But I also knew it's like, I'm not going to do that like in production. Like that's not a good practice. So it's this whole freaking thing. Yeah, but it's coming along. Good. So I'm hoping to do a couple things before the end of the year with that. That's my goal. Is I want to definitely be done by the end of the year, but I'd like to have something actually tangible by the end of the year too. That's like mine, not just tutorial site. So been working on that. I guess before that, the reason I took time off from that is I was doing this whole thing, like I said, at the podcast. That's why I kind of
today.
Yeah. Well, no, to improve the podcast.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I got like new camera. I read a ton all about like frame rates, aspect ratios, how my editor works, how importing works, all this stuff. And in theory, like I said before, this should be one of the first ones that I can edit it all in like one go, and it just works. And that will cut it down from taking basically 7 days to make to 1 day, and then that way I'll have more time to do that. So
efficiency.
Yeah, efficiency. That's basically the goal. I try to accelerate. Like I'm the same way when I code. I'm all about shortcuts. Like I have so many shortcuts. Like in Eclipse, you want to run some test cases. You're going to go like do a Control-Shift-R to pull up the file, do test, enter. Control-A, select all. Alt-Shift-X, T to run to enter the run menu, and then T to enter, run your tests, of course. And then one of them might fail, so you click that. Go down to Control-F, find that one, to do Alt-Shift-D-T to run it in debug to figure out what the issue is. You fix that, go back to yours. Alt-Left to go back to what you were doing now with your test fix. I'm all about that. Same with my editor. I'm just like, I need more shortcuts.
I totally understand everything you're saying right now.
It's just shortcuts to do like anything, because it's like designed like if you were someone who like sits in like as an editor, if you're someone who edits literally 8 hours a day, you want shortcuts for everything. Just because, it only takes me 1 second to click this button, but I click that button like 1,000 times. So I want to be able to press like put a key instead of being like, it's a big deal, or it's faster to be like instead of click. So I specifically got a mouse that has like more functions for that. It's got the main scroll wheel, obviously, but it's also like the frictionless scroll wheel. So like if I want to go to like the very top of a document, you can just like flick it and it'll just keep rolling until you stop it. Awesome. It also has a horizontal scroll wheel.
Is it a wheel or like a ball?
It's two separate ones. So there's one like this.
Okay.
And then there's another one that's just like turn. It's just like a cylinder that goes like this and it turns like that. But it's like wider, so you fit your thumb on it. And then it also has what's called like a gesture thing. It's like a little trackpad on it. And you can like hold down a button on like the right side of the mouse, and then you can like do things with the gestures. Be like flick it left, flick it right, flick it up to like move windows around, stuff like that. You can program it to do whatever. So been doing stuff like that. These are all things where it's like, it saves me so much time, but it's hard to explain. It's such a very specific individual thing.
Are you a wizard?
I am a wizard, yeah. A wizard of keyboard shortcuts. So, but anything to like cut down the time. Just like I said, like I could, there's nothing stopping me from taking 7 days to make every podcast, but it was definitely becoming more of a detriment than I wanted it to be, where it's like I was spending basically 50% of my time that I had to make stuff on this. So it's like 1 week with me making the podcast, and that's the entire week. Then 1 week to do something else, and then one whole week to do the podcast. It's like not ideal. Whereas this is gonna be better. Plus, one of the other reasons I got the better cameras, I want to do some more like simple live action stuff. So as part of that, the last week what I put out instead of the podcast was just a brief video on like how I make it, and that it was pretty solid. I would say like I wish I didn't do everything like first take, just like go, because I basically shot whatever I could and then I just made the video after the fact with what I had. So it was definitely a little clunky, but like it's a whole different kind of edit, and I want to do more stuff like that. Like I have a little script of a thing I want to do with Jamie probably tomorrow or something, and do more of that just because I like. It's fun to be able to like do an edit like that. Like this, the way I edit the podcast is very like this is it, and I just kind of like shrink it down and chop things. Whereas something like the making of, it's like here's just 20 clips, just constructively put them together like Legos. It's a different style. It's interesting. So that's what I've been up to.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's a lot.
Also Destiny. I've been trying to get that glory grind with Alex. That's been fun.
Glory?
The competitive mode.
Oh, were you playing that with him earlier?
Yeah, I played it last.
Did you invite me earlier to anything? Because I had it. I played for a little bit, and then I took my dog for a walk, and I went for a 3.5 mile walk when I only intended to take her for a 1 mile walk. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if like because I came back and it said like, oh, Taken and Evo are playing Destiny. I'm like, I really hope they weren't like. No. Like I'm ignoring them or something.
You can check your invites. There's like a section for that.
Right, but then as soon as I was there, I just turned it off and got ready to go.
So what are you saying? Oh, you mean today?
Yeah.
Oh no, not today.
Okay.
No, I think we just happen to be in the same game. He was probably doing something. But I Thursday, man, I hope they didn't like want to contact me. Oh well, turn off. You were so worried that.
Well, I want to be like, oh, contact me. Like, oh, do you want to play? Like, because I'm playing the same game.
Nah, we played at like 1 a.m. last night, so I don't think you were on.
No, I was sleeping.
The thing is, this is bad, but it was like 1 a.m., but we're on like a big streak, and it's like, we should go to bed. It's like, yeah. Want another game? No, no.
But did you? Or
no.
Oh, okay.
It was like 120. It's like,
what was your streak?
At least 4.
Okay.
Up 4. But it was also just a good session. So I've been gradually liking that. It's like I said with like a Bayonetta or like a fighting game. You eventually hit a point where it's like, I'm not great, but now I suddenly get it. Like I get the game. And I feel like that's where I'm at with like Destiny right now. So, but now I'm going to play Bayonetta forever. I'm going to replay 1 just so I can replay 1, and then I'm going to play 2. We can play it together. Bayonetta 2 has co-op. That means you have to get it.
It does?
It's not like normal co-op. They have like a co-op side mode.
So it's like share a screen?
No, it's like a non-campaign thing.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like
That's right.
Spec Ops in.
Yeah, that'd be a good example. Or like
Call of
whatever
Duty 4?
Final Fantasy 15 has, maybe. You know, where it's like the main focus really isn't co-op, but they do technically have a co-op thing.
I actually still don't know what the co-op in Final Fantasy 15 is. I never played it. Like
No idea. They just had an event too, like some crossover with another game that they had content in 15 for.
I remember.
And like, it was a whole story thing, apparently.
I remember a year ago they had crossovers with Assassin's Creed. That was weird.
Did not play it, unfortunately.
No,
It's still in game. Can you even access it, or is it just gone?
I think it's gone.
That bugs me because that doesn't make sense for a game like Final Fantasy that it would leave. Like I get an event like in like Destiny or like Gears, or if it's like a part of the online part.
Well, it's like I don't think it's like canon. So, like, because like
Sure.
they actually made it so like you could climb around some of the buildings. Like they added buildings to be more like I think it was going for more like Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, like Revelations type.
That's not that weird though, because if you play the Ignis DLC, have you played that yet?
No, I have not.
That feels super Assassin's Creedy.
Are you climbing around and shit?
Yeah, you get like a hook shot, and you like climb around the buildings.
So that's why he's fucking around top of buildings when he gets blinded, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, would that be disappointing if it's just like he just falls and like he falls on like a nail and that's how he got blinded?
Or like he shoots it and it just like I don't know, like he's flying like just some debris just like goes and like scrapes in the light like mid flight. It's like
It'd be kind of lame. It'd be funny in a weird way. Gosh, I've been playing a lot of stuff in between working on things. Mainly Destiny though. It's been solid, but I've been meaning to get my backlog. I want to get back to just playing like. I want to play like random horror games. Like this weekend, I really want to play Alien Isolation. That's kind of my goal is to start that.
have Alien Isolation?
Yeah, I have it on at least Xbox One.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to play that. Hoping it's not too long. I have a couple other things I've earmarked that I'm like, I want to come back to this. Because what's great about horror games, like they're short. They're all like 7 hours long. So it's way easier to fit that in than it is like these other giant monstrosities like Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
Or like Nier or what have you. Bayonetta is short though. You just like... It's just really fun to replay.
Have you done the Colosseums in Bayonetta yet?
Nier?
That one.
Some of them, not all the way through.
Okay.
I was talking to you. I can't do this without spoiling
Spoiling what?
Nier.
Oh.
But we were talking about how it's funny that they had this DLC that was super high level after there's a thing that you potentially have to lose a save for. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like there's no easy way to talk around it. But yeah, it's just like, I don't know. Not that I care that much about spoiling that game, but it's, yeah. I don't know. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
But I'm still grinding. I'm still, like, right now, Nier is my, like, one of my go-to, like, grind when I work on other stuff. I go on the super specific, I go on the roller coaster because they have enemies that give you, like, the drop rate chips. So I've just been farming those to get, like, a perfect one. Because it's, like, perfect thing to, like, okay, I'm going to render this. That's going to take 2 minutes. Let me just do another round. And because you can keep hopping on it every single time. And plus, there's apparently a bunch of players that suck. So every time you go around, there's someone dead to pick up at the end. So it's super convenient. So I'm so excited for Mario Party. I just want game
for the bullshit.
Well, yeah, but that's I kind of wanted bullshit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
At least it's random bullshit, not. I'm just great at this game. I'm going to pound you to the fucking ground.
well, I think that's what's annoying is when someone is like that, and then you encounter the bullshit. Like if everyone's equally bad, the bullshit doesn't matter. Like going back to that dude I said was like really good at Mario Kart. We'd play Mario Party with him. He's also super good at Mario Party, which means you're good at the mini games. But then when you know you're clearly winning every mini game, but you don't win the game, then that's bullshit.
Agreed.
So, but I talked about this before. Like one thing I would always really love to do if I could find the time is I want to do a game trade where like you give me a game I have to finish, and I give you a game you have to finish. Because I know I would love Witcher 3. That's one thing I would love to get to. But yeah, that's a monstrosity. Not because it's bad, but it's just like that's like 300 hours, I'm sure, easily. So
I played a lot of Witcher 3.
I imagine. Don't they have like a new DLC that just came out?
I don't.
Or an expansion pack? It's like it's supposed to be pretty big. I'm pretty sure they did. Am I just about to like destroy your entire Christmas break? Because if I like, hey, yeah, there's this new one. It's the highest rated DLC yet. You're like, well, not gonna play that. Sorry, I just looked at my last dumb search. Witcher 3. Oh, they also have the Netflix series that's supposed to be coming out, right?
Yes. haven't started shooting yet. I don't think though.
No, because I just saw an article on one of my RSS feeds where they picked someone to play
Siri.
Yes.
Now the
Blood and Wine. Does that ring a bell?
Blood and Wine is over a year old.
What did I see? I just happened to see that. So
it was a big DLC though. It was a good one. They actually had 2 big DLCs that were good, and they were free.
Google rates it 97%.
It was good.
Yeah. Oh, can I talk about this? So I went down to Hollywood Candy to buy that candy, and
is that downtown, right?
Yeah,
okay.
It's like 13th and J. Yeah. So already it's like odd, where it's like they bought like a warehouse, and it's like a bunch of mini businesses inside that are supposed to be like quaint and like old. So there's like they have like a little cafe there that's like super 70, 80 diner-y. Then they have like the candy store, and then they have like a drugstore, like just a pharmacy. And you can like walk between them inside this bigger building. But anyway, I'm glad I'm not like a local business owner, because one of the things you have to deal with is like just like Yelp and Google reviews. And the first one for that is this building haunted? When I went in, I was like so overwhelmed by energy, I had to faint. And the owner's like, no. It's like, well, I can't go back until you exercise your building. And I'm just like, that guy, like that's his entire life. He has running this business, I'm sure. And then he's got to deal with that person.
For a second, I thought you were like, this is like a dumb, like really weird, like positive review. It's like, man, like, is this place haunted? Like, it's like a weird pickup line. Like, man, is this place haunted? Because I'm getting a whole lot of energy coming from this place.
But it's just like, can you imagine that? Like, why? Oh, you have 5-star reviews. Everyone's 5-star except for one, and it's a 1-star and it says it's haunted, and that's just a problem you have to deal with. Like that it's never going away. Like how much that must like suck. Or I see it all the time. I follow a subreddit called like Quit the Bullshit or whatever, and it's full of stuff like that where it's like oh, I came here and we had your fried chicken, it was terrible, and it's like they're actually like we're McDonald's, we don't sell fried chicken. But it's part of your review now.
Well, I mean, theoretically, they do sell fried chicken. It's just not like fried chicken pieces.
Yeah.
It's like chicken tenderloin, all this stuff like that. It is fried chicken, but
yeah, it's like as annoying as it is, like if you're a buy stuff on Amazon, you always get emails after like, hey, rate our product. Do you ever do that? I don't know.
No.
Oh, well, I buy a lot of stuff off Amazon. Case in point.
I actually bought this off of Amazon.
Oh. So a lot of times, like at 2 days after it gets shipped, you'll get a message that's like, hey, get rated, tell us how we did. Because I'm sure, like I know I do the same thing where it's like the summarized rating is a big deal. And you don't go in and realize maybe that half of them are crazy. So.
Yeah.
Or like, I think that one of the best posts I ever saw on that subreddit was, like, it was something simple. Like they bought like a speaker. And it's like, this speaker is literally perfect. 4 out of 5 stars. And that was the review. And I could just see how frustrating that must be for someone who runs that business. Literally perfect. 4 out of 5 stars. Like, I'm sure there's like, oh, 4 stars. That's good. Or they just like clicked the first thing they saw.
Or maybe they like did it by accident. Like they like thought they were over 5 stars, but they were only over 4 stars, and they didn't like look at it.
It's also interesting though, because a lot of the small businesses that go through Amazon, they'll send their own custom little thing. But also Amazon will sometimes send out questions like, hey, you bought this. Can you answer this question about this product someone had? So like if you had like, you bought a Switch. So maybe like in 2 weeks, you get a question that's like, oh, like what size is like the controllers or something. And then in theory, you'd be like, oh, this is 6 inches, and you send it back. Mm-hmm. But that's not like curated at all. It's just automated, unlike the local business ones. So sometimes they'll get sent just like an elderly man, and they'll be like, what color t-shirt did this come in? And then the reply will be like, who is this? I don't know you. And Amazon doesn't know that, so they'll post that. And one, it'll go to the person, but it'll also go on the page of the product. So it'll be like, this last question I asked was, who are you? I don't know you. And it's just like really silly. Or like, stop contacting me. And someone who had like a genuine like question, and just like, what? Or my favorite is like sometimes in the review you can post a picture, and you see it all the time. Someone will be like, what size is this? It's like, this is a medium t-shirt, and then it'll just be a picture of just their face. Because they don't understand it's supposed to be of the product. So it'd just be like you took a selfie.
Well, or do they know they're supposed to be a picture? I'm assuming they would.
Well, it asks like, do you want to add a picture? And then they'll just like take a picture of themselves. But all the time, it's like not people that aren't tech savvy because that's the kind of person. So it's like they'll take out their phone, they'll just be looking down at it like this, and they're like, "Yeah, I'll take a picture, take picture," and that's what gets posted.
And they're like, "Oh, I didn't realize I was taking a picture now. I thought it'd be like, oh, I can take a picture."
Well, because can you imagine like, oh, I gotta buy this like super specific camera part for my company. I'm committing. I'm gonna buy this. And you ask this question to like justify your purchase, and instead you get back like some 6-year-old dude who takes that photo that says, "Who are you? I don't know you." And that's the only reply you get. And Amazon's like, "Answer the question." So it is good when it works. I think I got one that like I bought a fish tank pump for like the fish when I had it, and someone asked like, "Oh, can you use it for this? Or, like, how big is like this part?" I was like, "Oh, I can answer that." I know at least I'm helping someone out, but it's a thing. So. We should end it though, because Jamie's like sequestered over in the other room waiting for us to finish.
Yeah, she also has to rant about
Also,
something.
yes, rant. We gotta go play Mario Party. Well, that's gonna spawn some rants.
Yep.
Mario Party, some bullshit, some bullshit. I am so excited. I haven't played it in so long. Xbox and PlayStation don't have any good party games. Like I feel like Nintendo's got that like cornered. Like there are party games, but they're always either like lesser like copies of other things. Like I'm sure I could get Trivial Pursuit on Xbox if I wanted to, something like that. But I feel like there's no like Mario Party equivalent, or even like something simple where like just a fun fighting game. Like anyone can really play Brawl.
Yeah,
you can't really put anyone into a game of Mortal Kombat and have them enjoy it, or even be like a big multiplayer stuff. So I feel like that's one thing it kind of lacks. So
I'm still excited for Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
I am too now. Now it's relevant to me because like for the longest time that was like. I was eager about it, but it's like I had no way to get to it because I couldn't really justify the purchase. It was just like, yeah, that'd be cool, but it's like it's not relevant. So I have to actually like thing is I don't even know anything about it. Like I don't even know like I now have to like think of games like I could theoretically get for it because I'm sure there's a lot that I hadn't even thought of. So
yeah,
I kind of want to play through all the Zeldas. That'd be fun. I just thought about that. What other big games are there for the Switch? Breath of the Wild, obviously. Like I can play Mario Odyssey now. I like Mario 64. I can play Odyssey.
Xenoblade Chronicles. Something I don't know if this is how good this is. I've kind of heard mixed things. Octopath Traveler.
I'll look into it.
Yeah, it's a more recent game, I think. Within like last 3 or 4 months. Half a year maybe.
I'm excited though. So anyway, let's go play some Mario Party. So I'm Grant. This is Digression Bar 28. I'm joined by
Andrew.
We'll be back again in 2 weeks, and hopefully this is super easy to edit.
Yeah.
Bye.